Welcome to the Hot Coalition YouTube channel, and we are getting ready to start a stream where today we are going to be doing some animations. I'm getting ready to officially roll out and announce everything for the Helldivers project, and so this is like the big step into that. Here, let me turn down this music just a hair, just so it's not competing with me voice. That should be pretty good. Let me know how it sounds on your end. But yeah, we're going to be diving right in. It sounds like I'm clipping a little bit too. Let me fix that. That should be good. All right. So we're going to dive into that. I have a couple of animations that I've already started. I'm going to turn this down just a hair bit more. And everybody just let me know how that sounds. But yeah, so we're gonna dive in. I've already started cleaning some animation, which is looking really good. I have a new animation system that I'm utilizing, which is pretty exciting, and I'll talk a little bit about that as well. But then we'll actually build out a couple of scenes to create some test footage to go in this announcement video, and we might even get a little bit ambitious and try to do a large scene before the end of the night. But we're gonna start it off with a simple scene, and then we'll work our way into that. Unreal right now is loading a bunch of stuff in, but while that does that, I will talk about a little bit what this new animation pipeline looks like. So previously on the Red Dead short and on Titanfall New Frontiers, I was working with FK rigs, which basically means if you have a character and you want to move their arm, this is just an example with the arm because it works with the full body, but like with the arm specifically, you know, if you wanted to move it, you would have to move the shoulder, move the elbow, move the wrist, right? With these new rigs, I can grab the wrist and just move the whole arm around, and pivot around like that. It does the same thing with the legs, the chest, the spine, the head, all that jazz, and I can switch those controls on and off as needed, because sometimes you do just want to have, you know, full control of the arm, but sometimes you really do just want to grab the hand and attach it to something. Case in point, how I'm using it right now is I can take it and apply that to animation where, like, if a Helldiver is holding a rifle, I can take, even though it's all mocapped already and has animation to it, I can force the arm to stick in one place, which is a lot closer to what the actual mocap data looks like, but it just makes it 100% more smooth. I'll show you a little bit of that here in a second, but so that part of it is very exciting. It's also much more lightweight and easy to use this time around, just because of the way that I've gone about setting it up for this project. In addition to that, I'm also experimenting with a software called Cascadeur, where I can essentially take the mocap and I can plug it in and I can create more visceral animation just off rip. So I was doing some stuff, you know, testing mocap with like what would be the autocannon in Helldivers, and since it has like so much of a kick, you know, using that with the physics, the animated physics in Cascadeur, it just makes it look more visceral. Like it's actually, throwing some kickback because the animation data already kind of dictates that. And so Cascadeur just makes it look even more impactful, which is, super cool. It's a super big plus. It does take a bit to like get into the pipeline, so I'll probably only use it for certain animations, but we're going to dive in. I'll show you the animations that I've already done. We're going to build a scene. We're going to do one of these test shots like that, and then we'll try and build out a second test shot that I'm going to try to make a lot bigger. That one is also going to be in slow-mo, so that should help us. But let me bring y'all into Unreal Engine. So here we are. This is where I've been doing a lot of the animations, and just real quick, I'll show you what it looks like right now. So here are all of my animations. That's all the raw mocap. This is where I retargeted it, and this is where I'm cleaning it up. So I'll show you one of the animations we're going to be doing right now. We'll do this standing up one because I think that's the last one I did. But fingers crossed this loads up. I am loading in a bunch of meshes that I ported from another project. But so here we go. So as you can see here, like, his hand's on the rifle and it does not move. Like it stays locked to that. And this was an animation I was able to put together to where now I can use this as the raw animation and animate on top of that as I need for a specific scene. But you can see just how much nicer that looks all baked together. And I'll swap on, let's show you the rig. So here we go. And there's the rig. I'll turn off clean playback just so you can see. Here's an example of, I'll do this and I'll just undo it. But like I can just grab the hand and move the whole arm with it. I'll undo that. I can do the same thing with the body and the legs. But yeah, it makes it a world of difference. It just makes all the animation and whatnot a whole lot cleaner. So we'll close out of this. We'll build a new level. In this level, we're going to drop in 2 Helldivers. I have 2 animations. One is that standing up, doing the thumbs up, and another is kneeling down to kind of do, that famous shot from the Helldivers intro, where it's like the Helldiver shooting, and he gives the thumbs up. We're going to do that with 2 of them, just so it is a little bit more unique. We're going to build out a composition like that, set up our camera, lights, and everything. And then if we have time, we're going to try and do, I want to pseudo recreate this, not 100%, but similar composition, which I think could be fun. Let's get into it. Also, I have an actual music playlist this time. So if you just want to hang out and listen to the music, can't blame you. Alright, we'll go in and file, new level. I am just going to do an empty level. I actually don't think I have Ultra Dynamic Sky in here. Which, whoopsie daisy on my part. But I think we can just work with the default stuff in Unreal for now. Got this empty level. I'm just gonna delete this. This is just kind of to set up the sky. What is nice about the default sky in Unreal is you can do this little trick where you do Control L and you can control the sun like this. That's always fun. Always a good time. Actually, we might as well just kind of get it about where we want it. That's about what it looks like in the Helldivers trailer. Ooh, and of course we need to backlight that. Make sure it looks nice. But all right, so we'll start with this. This will kind of be our base. I'm gonna go I grabbed a bunch of assets earlier, but one thing I didn't grab was some surfaces just for the ground. I already ported in all these assets and whatnot. But I think I might just grab like a really default ground. I'm not even gonna paint it because we're gonna kind of be dropping meshes over it. This one looks good. that as well, and we'll just apply that to the whole ground and fill it out. So I'll take this and paste it in there. It'll take a second to recognize it, but once it does, it'll populate that across this mini landscape, which is actually a pretty good size because we can kind of build our composition around it. So look, that's already looking pretty nice. I actually don't even mind the tiling because we're gonna fill that out. Hey, what's up, Hazy Knight and Remaining Arc, one of the Dino members. What's up? What's up, y'all? Good to see you both in the chat. Also, we got Mrs. Coalition in the chat and Professionally Stupid, which is one name. Look at that, Arc, a member for 3 months, making the channel happen. I appreciate you, bud. All right, so let's go ahead. I think what I'm gonna do first is bring in my animations, get the comp looking the way that I want it to look, and then we'll build on top of that. So if the sun's over here, I might honestly just kind of position things right about here, because I can even, let me grab a reference photo real quick, because I do have one from when I did the filmmaker breakdown, which I do gotta do another one of those soon. It's been a minute since I've done those, but just been pretty busy, so additional stuff I haven't had tons of time for, but here we go. Here it is. So this is their original comp. Probably do mine a little bit different, but you know, same kind of idea, same kind of shot we're trying to recreate. So the sun kind of coming from right about here, so not quite the same side of the camera, but like just off. So it'd probably be right around this area right here. Has any progress been put into getting a new mic yet? I'm still looking at the Blue Yeti brand. Not just yet. I definitely need to figure out a better mic situation for my setup. I'd prefer to have like a mic with an arm that I can actually like pull down and speak into. But I still gotta figure that out. So not just yet, but I'm still out here looking. All right, so first thing we need to do here, let's go grab a Helldiver. I'm gonna switch this. So it's like, yeah, it's in the cinematic viewport. We'll switch it to default. It's a little bit wider, a little bit easier to work in. Yeah, I do really like Hazy Knight. I do like those pull down mics. Because it's easy to get up out of the way for like everything else, but if I need to record something, being able to pull it down is good. You look like my ex-girlfriend. Your ex-girlfriend must have been pretty cute. All right. Play characters. Player. All right. So, huge compliments. In the Helldivers archive on Discord, there's a fella named Cover Up, and I have to give him all the praise because he went in and extracted every single asset from Helldivers and optimized it for Unreal Engine, and it is saving me so much. I mean, this is legit thousands of hours. It took him 4 months to do this, and it's just like the greatest thing ever. I cannot express how amazing it is that he's put this together and made it actually happen, because everything is in here, which is a huge help. So you can even see, like, yeah, he's got every prop, like down to the barrels and like all the weapons, stratagems, the, you know, anything you can think of, he put it in here, and it all has animation tied to it. It is wonderful. Like one of the greatest things. All the eggs for the like everything. It's just amazing. Yeah, it'll save a ton of time in environment building. Help in that aspect, and then I can build other things on top of that. Like, look, dude, this is so... Oh, wait, hold up. You guys can't even see this list. Look down here. This is... Look at all this stuff just under this Super Earth folder. Dude, it is so crazy. And that's just for props. He has every single weapon. He has all of the Terminids in here up until the most recent update. And they also have, most of them have, I think some of them are kind of, for lack of a better word, bugged. But most of them have animations attached. We'll see if this actually opens up. But no, it is crazy how much he put in here. Yeah, see, look, there's it's got every single animation for this, and some of them, I'm sure it's just a problem with porting, but it's all stuff that I can clean a lot of this stuff up. And I will still have to do some animation, obviously, but it's just a great place to be started. Yeah, these are all the meshes that I've been loading up so you can build kind of a Super Earth defense scene, but it looks like most of them are loaded now. These ones are still loaded in textures. But we'll minimize that. We'll get back to our scene. Okay. So like I was saying before, we're going to jump in here. Probably won't say an animation, but if I end up getting a role as a voice actor, I do want a flamethrower. Don't know how hard it is to animate fire in Unreal though. So the way I'll probably do the fire, and the way that I did it for shoot, I'm blanking. The way that I did it for New Frontiers with the Scorch. I did that all after the fact with real fire assets from Action VFX. So there will definitely be flamethrowers in the Helldivers one. And if it all works out, maybe your character will be holding one. We'll see. And for anybody who wants to get involved, be sure to join the Plot Coalition Discord to make that happen. Alright, I'm just gonna make a new blueprint. I'm gonna call it version 1, because this blueprint is the one I have set up for Helldiver already, but I can just pop a different variant in here. Pop this guy in as the mesh, maybe. Kind of surprised it's not coming up there, but we'll just pop it in and see how it responds. Did that do it? Yes, no, maybe so. There we go. So we'll do this as one of our characters, compile, save, close him out, and we'll duplicate and do the same thing again. Hey, those textures loaded. Nice, nice. Alright, and we'll take the second guy. And all these folks also use the same skeleton and meshes. It's lovely. And swap out. Perhaps. Do that guy. I guess we're doing this guy. The weight on the right side. Alright, compile, save. Close out the Helldivers, and now we got two in here that we can drag into our scene. Oop, did I grab both of them? It says I did. They must be right on top of each other. That's exactly what it was. There was an animation I wanted to send you of Helldivers. I'm going to find that if you want to watch it later. It was a really good Helldiver short animation. Yeah, I would love to check that out. I've been watching as many Helldivers animations as I can. If it's from, shoot, what was the guy's name? Dero, Dero, or EPG6. I have seen those, and both of those folks are super talented. Oh, you sent it. I'll check it out. These are ported, not recreated, but I was saying earlier, there was a guy in the Helldivers Archive Discord that uploaded every single asset from the game and ported it into Unreal, which is just huge. All right, so the other thing I'm actually going to do with this scene and these two Helldivers in particular is I am going to put the Liberator rifles in their hands, because I feel like that's going to be a lot easier than trying to constrain it later. So I'm going to actually open this up, and in the right hand, yeah, because there's not a right hand weapon socket. Oh, there is. There is a weapon going right there, which should work. Let's try creating a socket for that. So we just create that socket and save. And I'm actually going to close all of those, and those meshes should still load in the background. But so from here, we'll open up these two guys, and I'll go grab the Liberator rifle from, I believe it's weapons V2. Yep, right there. Look, he's even got the bullets poured into the bullets, the mags, everything. Dude went all out. And, oh my goodness, it's gonna save me so much time. Because when we did New Frontiers, we ported everything ourselves from GitHub and from the actual game. And that shout out to shoot, I'm trying to blank on your name, man. Shoot, I forget his name. He's in all the credits. Cedric, I believe that's his name. He ported a lot of assets from Titanfall for New Frontiers. And like every time I needed something, he was like, yeah, man, just let me know. And he went in and found the asset and pulled out all the textures and stuff. Like, it was a crazy process. But in this case, like, this guy's gone in and done all of that, but also optimized it for Unreal Engine, which is a crazy time saver. Because I was working on self-ripping until I found his pack, and I was like, oh my word, this is gonna save me a bajillion hours. That's a real number, a bajillion. All right. Let's see, that looks about in the hand. It doesn't look 100%. Yeah, that's not quite right. So we'll kind of do it up into there, and we'll probably have to, tweak it, but it will be in his hand now. And we're gonna do the same for this guy. Gonna add the Liberator. We're gonna put it in his hand socket. Hopefully that tracks. And just get this nice and lined up. That's looking pretty good. Maybe I'll just rotate it. Do you have a 3D printed Liberator? I bet that would help with motion capture. Not yet. I want to print one, and I want to print a Stalwart, and I want to finish printing my wife's Helldivers cosplay. But my printer is having problems. So I gotta fix that first. But once I do, we'll be rock and rolling. Alright, so we're gonna go up to our cinematics folder. sequence, and we'll call this thumbs up. Actually, we'll keep that one word. Thumbs up animation cine. Pop that open, and we can drag our guys both in here. Then we'll add scalable meshes, and I can go in here and I can type thumbs since I've already made this animation. So I have what I retargeted, and then I have what I cleaned. So we'll add that one here. We'll actually swap the position of these two guys then. This guy's gonna get the standing roll. And that is this guy, correct? Yep. And standing thumbs up. I'll just take one of these. 872, 1313. I'm gonna split the difference. I'm gonna say, let's just go 512 frames. We'll swap this to 24 FPS. But you can see, like, that's actually not that far off. We're kind of guessing where the hand was supposed to be. So, like, this is already, we're already getting so much further ahead. Mic volume is a little bit low. Gotcha. Let me pump that a little bit. Let me pump it in OBS. Turn down the music just a hair. All right, let me know how that is. And let me know if that helps. And if it doesn't, I'll try and find another solution. There we go. That's much better. Cool. All right. So I actually feel like we can get this super dialed in. So what's nice about Unreal is you can open up multiple windows at the same time and work on things in here, and they'll update in your scene. So here I can see that this needs to rotate over, and up, and over, and maybe a little bit down. And we can get this really tight in his hands to where we probably barely need to constrain to it, honestly, because I've already done the animation. So that looks pretty good. What's also good about this pack that Cover Up put together is that it is using like very limited materials and stuff, so that it's able to load more materials with higher resolutions of details because it's made with a shader specific to Helldivers. So again, super cool, super helpful. All right, I'm gonna do the same for our friend down here. He's also very close, but we're just going to adjust that gun to make sure it is 100% in the right place in the blueprint. So we have to do even less in the animation. Because at this point, the animation is really just going to be, are they looking the same direction? And are they aligned? So I'm just going to go, maybe I'll stay on frame 96 and just see where, you know, where the cleanest one is. So I don't like this one because the gun's pointed down, but I did a few variations. So 2 is really good, and 3 is probably good as well. So I think I like 3 the most. So we're gonna go right when his thumb bounces back, and we're gonna give the other guy same time. Yo, Unknown WAF, good to have you here. Worship Collage in the chat. Unknown WAF has unironically made that a part of Plot Coalition lore now. I have to mention the Worship Collage every time he comments or comes into the stream. So that one's pretty good. I think all the standing ones I'm pretty good with. I like the later ones because the knees are a little bit more bent. And it does have like a little bit more of a flashy animation to it. So we're just gonna turn this guy, set him back. And I actually might go with the second animation. So where would we do it? Maybe around 48. Okay. So then by this point, the standing guy needs to be up. There we go. And maybe we'll just give them both as much lead time as possible, just for the sake of having the animation. So there we go. It's all cleaned up. Looks very patriotic. Looks like some good propaganda. And we'll cut this off. Maybe right about there. All right. So that's our base animation for this. Do I have experience in CAD? Oh, we're talking about 3D printers. Man, it's crazy how useful motion capture is. It really is. And like, I'm getting way better at converting motion capture into animation and not just having like uncanny motion capture. Because I feel like that was a problem I had for a little bit too. Maybe I will use it. Oh, hold on. I'm moving them both. I just want to move the standing one. How far does this go in? I think that might be a little bit nicer. Oh wait, hold up. I gotta line that up one more time. But I have a Creality K1 Max for the question about 3D printing. Which I don't have my stuff in here right now. But I do need to get my printer fixed. Because it do be acting up, which is mad annoying because I was almost done printing everything that I needed for the time being. But it's all good. All right, so the only thing that I'm gonna do is just make sure that they both go end at the same time. So I'm gonna take this guy, I'll edit, split his animation so that they both time back up that way. And right there, 240. So that's 10 seconds. So now we can have this set back up and rock with it. I'm gonna push him up just a hair. And then we can kind of start to find our composition where the camera's gonna go. We'll build out everything around that. Is it going to be short? Ridiculous, like Davis and draws. Goodness, there's a lot of questions coming. Y'all are chatting tonight. I love it. So it's definitely going to be like I want it to be campy. I want it to be fun. I want it to be ridiculous, but still try and tell like a solid story within that. So definitely been playing around with those different ideas, but like I want it to be as ridiculous as the game, but like still tell a good story within that, which like when you're telling a serious story, it's like kind of easy to be like, like make it just about the story. But when you're trying to tell something that's like kind of ridiculous, but like you also want it to be compelling, like I kind of like the challenge of that. And then as far as, so how does movement like walking or running work in motion capture? Do you just motion capture on a treadmill? So the way that I do the motion capture is like I'll actually walk around and move around in the space. You can lock the hips, so just that moves around. But it's it honestly depends on the shot and what you're doing with the mocap. But generally speaking, it's gonna kind of come down to what you're trying to accomplish. But in the motion capture suit, you can walk around, you can move around, and it, generally looks pretty good. But it's just something you need to be cautious of. And with these new rigs that I'm building, like the feet can also only go a certain distance before the knees start to bend. So like with these new rigs, I don't have to worry about, that stuff clipping and whatnot, which is also super nice. All right, so we're gonna bring this to about a 50 mil. We're gonna come to a good spot, and I'm just gonna add a transform to this fella so I can move him around in context. And I might need to reposition his feet a little bit, but I think that'll be fine. So I'm gonna kind of put him off to one side and this guy just a little bit off to the other. Maybe I'll bring this guy a little bit closer to camera. That's feeling pretty good. And we're going to adjust the camera. I'm going to blow open this aperture just so we can see both of them at the same time. Focus it on this guy since he's closer to camera. And maybe we'll bring it back just a hair. Now the other thing that I want to see from this camera angle and everything is how the cape cloth is going to simulate. Whew. We haven't saved in a minute. Let's make a new O2 levels. And we'll call this Desert Planet. Fingers crossed that all saves. I guess diving will be off the table. Yeah, you gotta get kind of, you have to get creative with it. There were so many times in New Frontiers where like there were different things I was like, okay, just thinking through like all the steps to get from point A to point B. I think like one of the biggest challenges or like best examples of that is in the opening of New Frontiers in episode 2. There's the scene where like the 6-4 is going to, spoiler alert, they're going to recover Sarah Briggs' body, and Tegan, the Postblade character, ambushes like the group of IMC grunts, and she sneaks up, she comes out, she throws a Postblade, and then she runs up, she does a flip over some barrels, fires a smart pistol, runs up again, like jumps up on a guy and like straddles his neck and breaks his neck while flipping him over. And then she lands. She lands, Like kind of gets down in almost a Spider-Man pose, uses the jump jets again to jump up onto another guy, pulls out a knife and stabs him in the face, and then he falls down and she lands on the ground and does a flip off of him. So while we wait for this to load, let me explain how that went down. I'll switch back to this camera while Unreal loads. So the way that we did that was like everything of her sneaking up on and getting behind and taking cover and going like this and peeking out. That's all me. And her stepping out, pulling out the knife, throwing the knife. That's me. Her running up and going over the box. That's a different animation. That's a Mixamo animation that I hand animated to also pull out the gun and like point it in their direction. Her running up and jumping on the first guy is a Mixamo animation, but as she comes back down, as she's landing, that's me on the ground in my living room, getting down into that position where I know generally where that final animation is going to be. And then I do if I remember correctly, we set up a like a couch cushion or something. And I was down and then I jumped up and like just kind of like went like this for a second, because I also had to kind of time when like how long a pilot was in the air every time they jumped. So like semi-timed that, jumped up, landed on the couch cushion thing, and like did like one of these because I also had to do the animation of the guy getting jumped on and moving around. So I did like a little bit of like, okay, like if I jumped on somebody's shoulders, like I need to like kind of get in like catch my balance or whatever. So I'm like on this couch cushion, and then I pull out the knife and I do the stab in the head, and then I mimic the same thing going down. I'm like, okay, so if he's falling, it's going to be about like knees, face, which I did do the knees, face for that guy's motion capture, but I just kind of tried to time it in my head as close as possible, fall down, and then she gets up, and when she does the flip, it's legit like I get up and I just go like this and just turn around, and I basically just get up, but then in post I'm animating the jump up, her legs actually flipping over her head to where she lands back on the ground, basically like doing a stationary flip. All that for one character for one 10-second scene. You also have to consider you were playing a female character with a smaller frame, so you have to improvise your movement differently. Yep, there was a whole bunch of stuff going into that. This is taking a little bit to load, so I'll walk through a little bit of that as well. So like, here's the New Frontiers lore. Let me put my desk up. So. It didn't crash. It's still just saving that level, but I think it's because it was, still prepping those meshes from the other thing. But I'll walk you through a little bit of the motion capture stuff. Just to make sure I didn't miss any other chats. I know a lot of people have been talking in here. All right, cool. So here's a little bit of insight to New Frontiers. So here's like the gun that was like everybody's gun in New Frontiers, because I also just used it for the Helldivers stuff, which is like, every time you use a different gun, it's like kind of choose where the hand placement is going to be. So since like the Liberator for Helldivers is like short, I kind of hold it like this. But so when I did the motion capture, like every time that I was doing Tegan, the Pulse Blade pilot, like everything was like I was never on my heels. I had to be on my toes and I needed to be bouncing in some way. I had to just be shifting, my weight, like ready to go. And you can see, like, if you watch like the opening animations, you can kind of see like the unique characteristics that I would act for each of these characters, either me or my brother-in-law, or my wife. She did a couple of characters too, but like, so Tegan was like, she's like this. She's loose. She's ready. And then, doing somebody else, like Gaz. So Gaz, what I would do, he's like the guy who's the cloak pilot. So Gaz, I usually used a blanket, but like, cause he's got like that big cloak thing on him, you take something and you put it up here and like, you let that like kind of base your weight and like, you move around with that and you just kind of have like a different demeanor. And same thing, like, Gila had her own, style of walking and movement, as well as Celise. Like, they all moved a little bit differently. Pyres, the guy on the ship, every time, like, he's like very like shoulders, like every time I did the motion capture, I would like roll my shoulders back because he's standing up straight. He's usually got his hands behind his back. When he comes forward, like, he's still keeping a large frame. Whereas when it's like the young Gila character, it's all about like kind of being, more reserved and changing your body posture and all that. So there is a lot that goes into it, and I wish nobody knows better than me, like, how much I wish I could like go back in and redo all the animation for New Frontiers, but it's done and it's out, and I'm proud of that. And the next stuff that I make is going to be better. I mean, the Red Dead short is evidence of that. But yeah, so it's one of those things I'll keep working on and getting better at, but that was a huge part in making New Frontiers actually work. I'm also getting my first PC, so any tips or anything? As far as tips for a PC, I love Puget systems. My computer is a Puget system, but they can be a little bit pricey. I use mine for work because I do a lot of, animation and post stuff for freelance and for my full-time job. So like, it's worth it to me to have like a beefy computer. But Puget Systems is like, they're a great company if you ever need like a workhorse machine. For like a consumer machine, definitely take a look at like MSI. Has some good rigs. MSI, I used to have a CyberPower PC, but that was forever ago. But yeah, just like, kind of like what Hazy Knight is saying, just look into what you're getting. Maybe start with like a 3060 card. You can get those for super cheap. All that kind of jazz. All right, Unreal is still loading. Yeah, it was way better than expected. Top tier fan animation. Oh, about the Red Dead short. Yeah, no, that was, we really wanted to step it up, and I knew the weakest part of New Frontiers was the facial animation. And so I was like, that needs to be, it's like, I need to be on my game with it. And so I really pushed for that in that one, and it worked. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. And now with Helldivers, I'm more focused on the body animation and making things feel weighty and punchy, because that's another thing that I really need to work on. I currently use the CyberPower. It's only a year old. It's actually pretty good for the setup. That's awesome. I bought my CyberPower in high school, and I use it for probably like 8 or 9 years. All right, we're jumping into Task Manager and seeing if there's anything that let's see. I think those blueprints were saved, but let me see if I can just close Unreal. If not, I'll force quit it. Because at this point, I could have just created a new map, hit save, and been back in, no problem. But it's been stuck on the same loading screen. So, alright. I didn't want to have to do it this way, but it is what it is. Unreal Editor, end task, end process. Alright, let's get it back up. Is there going to be a 3D printing stream? I'm just wondering if I should be on the lookout for it. If y'all would like a 3D printing stream, I'm certainly about it. I got to finish working on my wife's Helldivers stuff. So I'm definitely down to do, something. Here's me. Okay, it didn't save our level, but should have saved the adjustments to the Helldivers, which isn't, it's not that far back. I can catch that up. Let me just double check. Yep, they're holding the liberators, and I assume they're rotated properly. So we're gonna call that a win, and we'll just create a new level in here, and we'll call this Desert Planet. We'll just call it V2 in case there's something in the code. And we'll pull it up here. But yeah, I would definitely consider, doing a stream like that. Just sitting down and honestly just working on our stuff. I think like the actual 3D printing probably won't be on stream just because the prints take a long time. My Helldivers armor probably took in the ballpark of like 40 to 45 hours to print. And then like all the painting and stuff. But I think we could do like, detail painting on a stream. I think that'd be fun. Alright, we'll grab it. Plane. This is going to be our new ground. We'll work from here. Surfaces. There it is. Look at this. We're getting back in business. We'll make our ground plane a little bit larger, and we'll just increase that tiling. Maybe set it to 0.25, 0.25. No, that makes it bigger. 3 and 3. 3 seems pretty good, especially if we go to an edge. Yeah, you can't even see where it repeats. So that works. All right, let's bring our sun down to about where we had it. And we'll get to our positioning. There we go. I'm just gonna kind of use this as like a good horizon marker so it's not as flat. And let's pull in our guys. Guy 1, guy 2. And we'll make our cinematic. Sorry to be taking it back to this stage, but Unreal crashes. What are you gonna do? What were we calling this before? Thumbs up. Desert Cine V1. We'll call this one V1 because I don't think that's saved anywhere. I was gonna say, as a side note, with guns, do try to keep good firearm. Lean to the buck stop. Yep. Um, I used to be like really into shooting, like as a sport. So I have a lot of experience with firearms. I actually used to be really good at it, but now I kind of turned into an office desk potato. We're gonna aim for the 250 frames, and we'll do the thumbs up standing for this guy. And I think we went with his second one. So we'll go for frame maybe 72. Yep. So that's like 3 seconds. Cool. Oh, looks like our blueprint did not save, but that's an easy fix. We've been here, we can do it again. Looks like it needs to be pushed back too. Just its position in the hand. Push it back, maybe slightly up. File, save. Look, see, we're already making, you know, we had to go back, but we're already working on making it better. It's not quite tucked where it needs to be. Yeah, it's definitely not perfect. So maybe we rotate it back. Or maybe I'll just suck it up and attach his hand back to it. Now we gotta get it somewhat right though. Stand by, stand by. This is why you gotta save often. Helldivers guns are so big and blocky. And I want to see them hip fire together. Yeah, we definitely need to get some more hip fire up in here. I'm going to be extremely new to 3D printing, and I think it would be cool to just see the ropes and be able to ask questions. But if stream doesn't happen, don't sweat it, man. Just keep doing you. Yeah, no, I think I will try and make that happen. At some point, bring my desk back down to eye level. But yeah, no, I think that'd be a fun stream. Just gotta find the time to do it and get my printer fixed to actually have something to show. All right, kneeling, thumbs up, clean. This one we went with his second one. Oh, and we did that at 72 frames, not 48. And we'll fix that. Rifle in the hand, because it's also a little jacked up. Fingers a little bit crooked as well. Yeah, the fingers. If I ever want to spout gun stuff, you know, like as a hobby, I'm into firearms, but I know not like everyone in my audience is. I do like, you know, discussing that kind of stuff, but I typically either keep it to myself or chat with, you know, folks that I know IRL. How do you get these to print? So there's actually a good amount of people online, especially on Thingiverse, that just like have made some fantastic models and whatnot that are just like super great for printing, which is super cool. We'll have them both go back in at the same time. Forgot we had changed that a little bit. Split. And I basically want them to grab their rifles almost in sync. Cool, cool. All right, we will clean that up. Make it look nice. We'll find our composition first, just to make sure that's all banging. Yeah, people can be touchy, but you know, I'm like, I understand why to a certain degree, and I'm just like, hey, like if it's something that, like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to make like people uncomfortable. So, and I try to be friendly for all audiences, which is why I make these films that you know, probably would get some colorful ratings, but I think it's a little bit different when it comes to like art. Like art, I feel like should be hindered over stuff like that. I actually think it's more important that, you know, it's not. All right, so I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the guy kneeling. We're gonna frame him up nicely, and then we're gonna put this guy kind of in a position where he accommodates this guy's frame. I think that's gonna be the strongest way to set this up. So I'm gonna go real wide. We're gonna go to F11. Focus on this guy. And then this fella. Let's bring him back. And over. And maybe back a little bit more. I agree. When it comes to, you know, people do be crazy. And it's certainly the larger issue. All right. Alright, so I'm going to add a control rig. Fingers crossed, don't crash. Alright, cool. Just in case we're saving. Alright, we're going to pull this up. And so this is what's nice about this setup, is I can kind of be like, I want this guy to kind of have his knees bent a little bit more, fit into the comp. Just slightly nicer. I can turn this leg and just kind of have everything update off of it. And lean him forward just a hair. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. I think legitimately all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab his arm. And I'm just going to barely tweak it into place. Because the animation's already been baked with, you know, all this in mind as far as like placement and whatnot. Maybe bring his overall feet off the ground just a little bit. There's a little bit of slippage. It does look a little wonky around his feet. And I don't love them crossing on that plane. So maybe I'm gonna rotate him this way just a little bit more. And then have him look at camera over here. I think I'm just going to cover up his feet. So I'll turn the camera out. It's right about here. Yeah, that's some Helldivers action right there. I love it. Maybe we'll bring this comp out just a little bit. Maybe we'll go slightly wider lens just so the camera doesn't go as far. What are we at, a 50? We were at a 35 before, and I think it might be a little bit wide, but that's the nice thing about being in Unreal and being able to see this all update in real time. Is like, what does feel good, you know? Like, it's all about finding the frame that feels the best. And like in this case, I want it to be when they both have their thumbs up. Like, that's what I care about being the master frame. And then I can build everything around that. I think the main thing is I just want to see this guy's... see that he is kneeling just a little bit more. So I think that's good. I'll add a control rig for him. I gotta do that here. And then I can take his rig and just tilt his head down and his spine forward just a hair. And then this animation, like animation wise, this is good to go. Obviously we got like some problems with the feet, but I can clean that up. All right, I find it funny while Plot is doing his animation stuff, we're talking about pancakes and waffles. What is happening? I've never tried cheese on a pancake. If I'm indulging with pancakes or waffles, I will dump all of the maple syrup I can get away with from Canada. I grew up near Canada. I love maple syrup. But you all seem like you're having a good time. Good time, chill music, animations happening. Overall, very successful stream. All right. So this is also what I'm going to do here. Just like while getting the lighting and everything set up for this shot, I think it's also worthwhile to go to our outliner and just within here, I can go to the viewport and I am just going to attach a point light to the end of the gun. And this will be our muzzle flash, which I will just hand key. But it's a lot easier to attach it in here and just have it live on the front of the gun than like trying to animate it elsewhere. And I'll bring in the flash distance, maybe like 500. We'll make it a nice golden color and we'll set it to 0. Compile, save. We'll also rename this to muzzle flash. I'm going to do the same thing on the other guy. This way we can just get that interactive lighting so when I comp it, you know, it all works. I'm actually going to also start recording my screen just so I can use this for that announcement video, which I'm hoping to put out this weekend. But we shall see. We'll do the same thing. 500, 0, compile, save. All right. Are we still talking about waffles? Subplot of the plot stream. For real. Now I love how much y'all are talking. I'm waiting for those voice roles positions to open. Yeah, no. You know, it's sorry, I lost my train of thought. As far as like, you know, getting involved, like it's something I did with New Frontiers that I want to do with this one as well. I forgot to name this Muscle Flash, but oh well. But like just getting like a whole array of people involved, whether or not they've acted before, like doesn't necessarily matter to me. You know, like I just want to get folks involved, and like, you know, that was what was nice about it, was like having some, you know, very seasoned actors. Oh wait, we're on this guy right now. Let's switch that back. But having seasoned actors and, you know, people who like that was their first project, I thought that was super cool to just have everybody there, you know, kind of doing the same thing. It was great. So we're gonna do that, and then we're just gonna duplicate those, and I can actually copy these intensities for the next one too. Actually, I'm gonna do fire 1, 2, fire again. Maybe we'll hold for just a second before bringing that next one in. Oh, I set all of those to 0. No. Go. That looks good. And we'll have him shoot again. There we go. So now there's some interactive lighting, and I can throw the same thing on this guy, which will offset his just a little bit. And I'm gonna stop. There we go. All right, I feel like we got a good composition. We have a good idea of what lighting's gonna look like. And maybe we'll pull in a post-process volume just to lock the lighting in. Right there. We'll set it to infinite extent unbound. And maybe just set this to to a cool 14. Noise. And even like with that info, like now I can kind of take that sun and just move it into a position that I like. This is why I love working in Unreal. Alright. Cool. So now I can also see like this is the only area that we really need to set dress, make look nice. The first thing I'm going to do is kind of cover this guy's feet. And we'll just do that with some debris. We'll drop in a couple of rocks, and then this shot is basically done. So that's pretty cool. Wow, we're not talking about waffles anymore. I've done stage acting. Nice. Yeah, no. I think a lot of people, should at least like if it's something that they want to get into as far as voice acting and stuff goes, it's something that they should definitely go for. I'm not huge on voice acting myself. I prefer everything else that I do for these projects, but like it's also just good for me to be able to give direction, just like understanding, certain things and whatnot. All right, so let's add some ground. And this is where like it just kind of turns into a little bit of cheating, It's like legit just dropping stuff in. It's like, that might look good over here. And like, cause it's all just to this one camera shot, we can kind of fake it. So I really just need to make sure that it looks good from this angle of the camera and whatnot. These rocks back here. Whoop. Ah. Alright, let's jump out of the camera view. Oh, I'm in the animation view, so it is using Alt and not the right way. So let's move into selection mode. Well, it is using Alt the right way. Just not how I want to use it right now. And then we can just put like a giant rock right there. That's more ground asset, but we can just kind of drop that in. Here's a larger rock assembly. Oh, this is like not quite what I'm looking for, but it might kind of nicely blend those two things. Same thing over here. We'll just bring it down a little bit. Oh, there's a big rock. That's almost too big. We'll put that back here. Some nice big rocks. I like that boulder. That's a nice boulder. Or just, I'm legit just like dropping these in more so I can actually see which asset I'm grabbing. Just so I can find something to help cover this guy's feet a little bit. That one might be a little bit too bright, but we can just shove it in the background. Same thing with this one. Just makes for some nice background assets, you know? All those assets nanite activated. Yes, they are. Rocks cover all sins. Pretty much, especially when those sins are, you know, bad foot animation. It's really easy just to hide it. Okay, we're just gonna keep dragging those into the background. Ooh, some little rocks. Not quite what I need though. There we go. There we go. That's the rock I've been looking for. Oh, that's the rock. There. Only those on stream will know that this rock is really just covering up some janky foot animation. But my phone died. What did I miss? There was a whole conversation about waffles. I can't remember if you were here for that. But all right, so we got this in there. That looks nice. I'm gonna throw. There are a couple other rocks that we could like. I could just keep throwing in more rocks, but I also have like some mountain assets. It's called a mountain. No. Gigantic sandstone terrain. Yep, this is it. It is very large, but that can go way off in the distance, and we can look through our camera and just see what that sees. There we go. That's helping us block out a background terrain. We can rotate this. Maybe over that way. And we can grab a couple other things just to fill the horizon line out. So we just need a few more large set pieces. Most of these are still just general rocks, so I'm just gonna keep honestly just dragging these out so I can see which rocks are which, because most of these are not what I'm looking for. Ooh, there we go. That's a nice one to break up the horizon line, because we can scale that up and drop it down a little bit. So anything with that one, like that is just gonna hide that horizon line so nicely. Perfect. And then let's just like fill in over here a little bit. Some other rocks. These are just, oop. Those are just tiny rocks. We don't need all that teeny tiny rocks. It's another one of those tiny rocks. Yeah. You know, kind of like Rosie to School is mentioning, you know, we want to get as many people involved as possible. So like, you know, if you want to break into voice acting or whatever, you know, definitely consider joining the Plot Coalition Discord. for when this goes live, because I want to get as many folks involved as possible. I'll be bringing back in more folks from Red Dead and New Frontiers, but like Helldivers is probably going to need the most voice actors that I've ever needed for a project. All right, so I feel like this, this could benefit from having a our lovely divers kind of being stalked by a Bile Titan. I feel like that would really tie this scene together nicely. So we're gonna turn that off. Maybe we'll add, let's see where the camera's looking again. Maybe we'll add a little bit of a base back here and a Bile Titan on this side. So for the bases, I have this from Kitbash 3D. I used a lot of these for New Frontiers as well. It's just, a fantastic pack of things. And of course, spill oil. I feel like it's only appropriate to put like a water refill station. Obviously, that's all this is. Oh yeah, that looks nice. It's filling out frame nicely. I'm gonna say put it even further back and over and down just a little bit. Yep, just to give some more perspective, some diamonism to the shot. And I'm also gonna paint down some foliage here as well, which actually we can do that right now. We'll go to foliage panel, we'll go to 3D plants, and doesn't look like I have a foliage filter on. I do. Should be a foliage filter there. I see the grass one, but there should just be a straight up. Yeah, there we go. I don't know why it wasn't showing up. All right, so this is all foliage that I downloaded. I'm just gonna drag it into here. Select all of it, turn it on. It's a pretty big brush size, so we'll drop down to 128 and we'll make our paint density 0.001. It's gotta be a very small number. Hey, Waff, glad to see you joining the Discord. It'd be good to have you there. Worship collage and all. Let's paint down this foliage. Hey, random idea. I have that gun you can only find on the ground while on missions. That's a farmer's shotgun. That thing never gets any love. I feel like it definitely should get some more. Like, I just like the idea that, like, in lore, there's like, like just this farmer's shotgun, like it's, 1899 or whatever. It's just kind of funny. But yeah, I haven't seen one of those in a while in game. I'll have to look somewhere. All right, so now we got some foliage. Just to fill this area out a little bit more, and we'll add a Bile Titan in the background, and we'll call this shot good. So let's see here. Projects. We can turn off the foliage filter, and we'll grab ourselves a Bile Titan. And we'll just kind of haphazardly place him over here because his feet are going to be covered by, all that jazz. Whoop. So we'll put him back even a little bit more. Put him over. Drag him into our scene. And we'll just kind of throw... I need to find a walking animation for him. Is that him walking away? Okay. That works. We will slow that down to 0.25. Ooh. Okay, slow it down to 0.1. Maybe 0.2. Oh, 0.2 is perfect. And we just need to turn that sucker around. I'll turn him around and just to give him more of a dynamic presence, we'll put him like kind of like here. There we go. That's looking pretty good. I'm liking how that looks as a scene. And we'll take all this, we'll hit save. Last thing to check is how their keeps simulate. This is where things could get messy. You can definitely comment a link. There should be a link in the description as well. Catching up on some other stuff. Is this animation going to be a play on the media recording, the Helldivers going wrong, with them giving the thumbs up and everything? I've been thinking along the lines of that. So this is more of just like a test animation, just to, you know, make sure that everything's working. There's nice stuff that I can showcase in the announcement video, because when I did the announcement video for New Frontiers, that really blew that up. You know, it had like almost a year of work towards it, like about 9 months of work towards it. Helldivers doesn't have any, and I'm anticipating like a new audience because of it. So I feel like kind of just being able to have something to show would be nice. Oh look, that foot goes perfectly behind that rock. Everybody's gonna be looking at this guy anyway. Alright, let's see how the capes simulate. Save. Alright, fingers crossed. Oh hey, capes look pretty good. Not perfect, but hey, this is all test footage. There's a little bit of clipping, but it all still needs to be worked out. Can I switch to... No, it won't let me from here. But that's just good to see. Capes look good. We're in pretty good shape. Alright, so I feel great about this shot. And, you know, we came pretty long ways here. So that's pretty cool. I think I might do just kind of like one light right above them just to kind of hero light them a little bit more. But this is pretty close to being done. I don't think we're going to get to the second shot tonight, but I feel really good about this one. Pin that so I can see what it's doing. And we'll bring in a light. Bring it up. And just do this really nice, soft, beauty lighting on the both of them. Kind of just make sure that the shadows are still cast in the same direction. Make it wide, make it tall. Bring it in so it's just lightly touching them. And make it slightly orange. And turn it off and just bring it up until it feels right. We'll go to our hero frame. And just find where it feels nice. Then I'm in debate if I throw camera shake on this or not. Let's dive back into the camera, just see how it feels with camera shake. That'll kind of help determine. I built out a couple of camera shake presets before, or when I was working on some of the other animations. I don't mind it too much. Maybe a light behind the cameras so it looks like they're being lit up from a source you can't see. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that's coming from the sun a little bit. I think I need to make that light just a little bit more orange though. Orange red. Just because of the way it's shining on the second guy when it was, I just want to make sure it doesn't look like it doesn't match the regular sunlight, so it doesn't look mixed. I want it to all kind of feel like one unified light source, but just so he's equally lit, because when we shut this off, you know, he falls into darkness quite a bit. And maybe I'll move this light over, up, rotate it, increase the barn door angle, handle length, just to kind of split up the ground a little bit like I had before. That's all feeling pretty nice. Maybe I'll put like a little boulder right about there. And this is like really just getting into the iterative, you know, nitty gritty of it. I'm hitting the nitty gritty, whittly. That is so cringe. Can't believe I just said that on stream. Alright. Yeah, that helps. Just fill it out a little bit more. Noise. You know what? Just to go all out on this, let's also just add like an eagle streaking through the sky or something. I feel like that might be a good final touch, you know? That's a super destroyer. clipped. Oh, what's up with the cape disappearing? That's just a rendering thing. It's because it's on there, but it is a physical object that needs to be rendered, but it shouldn't be on the final render when I do it in full res. Okay. Is it in here? Automatons, all blueprints. Officers, player. That would be an interesting thing for them to include. What if you could play as Eagle One? That would be neat. Kind of have a flight simulator aspect to it. That'd be sick. Is it under? I feel like it has to be under the Super Destroyer. That's the main level. I know it's in here somewhere. Pelican, turrets outside. I might also just be blind. It's getting about time for me to type it in. Escape pod, escape building, down pill. All right. I'm like looking at this and I'm like, ooh, what if I had a drone? What if I had a blah, blah, blah? Just too much. Too much fun. All right, Eagle. Yep, that would have been way faster. So here's Eagle 1. We'll add it in the background and, you know, counterfire, it can kind of swoop in right towards the Bile Titan. I feel like that could be just a cool little story element. What if he added Marvin to the factory in the background? I do want to add some little Titanfall Easter eggs. I feel like I have to. For this shot in particular, I'm not going to, but like for the actual thing, I will entertain it. Also, my son loves Marvin. It's his favorite Titanfall character. We're just going to add a nice little curve to that. And what's that moving on? That's moving on the Y. So we're going to leave it there. And make that linear. Just kind of see how that feels. I can adjust the curves of it if I need to. It's looking a little that's looking a little goofy. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work in this composition. That's okay. That's okay. Not every idea works. I think there's definitely a world in which it works. Actually, hold up. Just to give it the good old try. You know, we'll give it one of these across screen. I feel like that's fair. Can't leave Eagle 1 out of this. She's part of the fight too. What kind of Helldiver would I be if I didn't have Eagle 1, right? again, there's stuff that I could do to clean it up. But for now, for like the sake of stream, I think this is just about where I'm going to call it. I feel like this is a good enough composition. It is just test footage, so it doesn't need to be anything crazy. This is already like, it looks good. We have some nice stuff to it. It feels nice, and it should render quite nicely. So I'll probably render this out and plan on doing some comping for it. But I'm loving the way that it's looking. Like it's feeling good. It's looking good. I'm very happy with this. But yeah, let's see here. We are at an hour and 40 minutes into this stream. So I think I am probably going to call it right about there. I would love an edit of worship collage. Of course. Yeah, I gotta work some of this stuff in. But yeah, so if we want to keep up the conversation, feel free to jump into the Plot Coalition Discord. I might share this render once I have it all set and done, but I am trying to have the announcement stuff ready for this weekend. I might miss it by a little bit, but we shall see. It might spill into the following weekend, but I want to make sure that this is all set up and ready to go and is in a great position to be received, by everybody going in. So that is going to be it for me. Thank you so much for joining me, being a part of the stream. Where's the link? The link to the Discord is in the description, so you can check it out there. Also, if you'd like to become a member of the channel, consider doing so, just so we can, do more cool stuff. But if not, I'm just happy you're here as a viewer. That's all I need. But all right, I will catch you all later, and thanks for hanging out.